Hello and welcome to How to Play Sequence, presented by GatherTogetherGames.com. This video will cover how to play the game Sequence. The video will start with the general concepts and gameplay and then get into more of the details for the game. To play, you will need the Sequence board game, colored markers, and 2 decks of cards. The game is played with 2 to 12 players divided into 2 or 3 teams. Depending on the number of players in the game, each player is dealt a certain amount of cards. For 4 players playing in 2 teams, each player is dealt 6 cards. The object of the game with 2 players or 2 teams is to get 2 sequences. A sequence is 5 of your markers in a row, either horizontal, vertical, or diagonal. If playing with 3 players or 3 teams, the object is to get 1 sequence. Going back to the hand that was dealt earlier, I have flipped up each player's cards for you to see. In an actual game, you will keep your cards hidden from the other players. The game begins with the player left of the dealer playing first. Player B plays a card and places a marker on one of the 2 matching board spaces. The card played is discarded and a new card is drawn. Play then moves to player C. Player C chooses a card from his hand and places a marker on a matching space. Player C then discards the card played and draws a new card. Play continues clockwise left with teams trying to make a sequence of 5 markers in a row. A jack with 1 eye can be played to remove any marker from the board, with the exception of a marker from a completed sequence. 2-eyed jacks are wild and a marker can be played on any open space on the board. The 4 corners are free spaces and can be used by any team to complete a sequence. If you have a card in your hand that doesn't have an open space on the board due to wild cards being played, the card is known as a dead card. On your turn, announce you have a dead card, discard it, and draw a new card. Then take your turn as normal. If you fail to draw a new card after a turn before the next player draws a card, you lose your turn to draw and play the rest of the game with less cards. No table talk or coaching other players on moves is allowed in the game. If table talk occurs, players from the violating team must discard 1 card from their hand and play the rest of the game with less cards. 1 marker can be shared by 2 sequences when playing with 2 players or 2 teams. Once the required amount of sequences are completed, that player or team wins the game. That wraps up How to Play Sequence. If you found this video helpful, give it a thumbs up and get more game tutorials by subscribing to our channel, Gather Together Games. Thanks for watching.